Just imagine all his life or her life, no, this child will be reading.
Sometimes there's no word is, but they will read there's the word is.
They would get mad at me now, so I'll be like frustrated.
Hirap sila kasi ayokong tumingin ng mga letra, no? Pictures lang ang gusto ko.
B becomes D, P becomes Q.
Makikinig ako pero wag mo ko pababasahin. Wag mo akong pagpapaspelin.
Mom would be like, but I just taught you this yesterday. How do you not know it? Do you have amnesia or something?
Ramon and David were glad they had fixed.
Okay, I'm teacher Eugene Cordero, reading specialist here in Readability.
I'm JC Pascual and I'm the director of Readability Center. I think the Americans lang, no, remove the label of dyslexia, no, based on this particular assessment tool that they use, to, which is the DSM-5. And in DSM-5, they disregarded or parang relabeled it under learning disability, no? So learning disability is an umbrella of disabilities, and dyslexia is under it, wherein it's now called learning disability specific to reading.
This is a pin. Okay, what are the missing sounds?
Dyslexia is a neurological disorder or neurological in nature. So nasa brain siya. It is characterized by children who had difficulties recognizing the word in print, word recognition, also identifying the sounds, and spelling, fluency, yung rate ng kanilang pagbabasa. But it's not attributed to intelligence or IQ. It is not a result of poor instruction or economic reasons. May problems like in reading, writing, you know, and nakaka-apekto siya sa comprehension.
My name is Marie Cardizon. I'm a mother of 3. I have 2 dyslexic children, who's 11 and 13. When we first found out that our son was dyslexic, we didn't know what it was really. But when I took this course, I took the program in the US on how to help dyslexics, that's where I found out exactly what it is, okay? And what it is actually a disorientation of 2-dimensional symbols, because dyslexics are naturally picture thinkers. They're able to manipulate images in their minds and can shift their perception. This affects their reading.
I'm Audrey. I'm 11 years old. Because the first time Mom found out about it, she right away placed me in this Green Hills thing where my teacher taught me. Since I was still 6 and it's supposed to be 7, I was the first one who was ever 6 years old and took it because I really wanted it. I didn't want to stay anymore in front and the teacher to talk to me really slow because it's uncomfortable. Like, the teacher has to treat you specially just so you can cope with the rest of your classmates, because all your classmates are ahead of you. You're just still sitting there with the teacher's still explaining, all of them are done.
I'm Justin Armanalang, graduate of De La Salle College of St. Benilde, under the course of Multimedia Arts. I was diagnosed when I was 9. Even the teachers, my parents noticed that my reading skills, my spelling skills, and my speaking skills are very, very low. So they led me to this clinic and they give me these tests, viewing tests, hearing tests, and a lot of tests in general. And they told my parents that I'm a special kid. Actually, life with dyslexia is very difficult. I mean, a normal kid will have to read a book just one take, but as a dyslexic, I need to read the book more than once.
Like you have reversals and you get like you have sometimes a hard time focusing and stuff, and then when you read things they're like you don't know them, and then you have a big imagination.
Reading intervention. Well, it is the primary service of our center. No, we provide reading intervention, and it is addressing weaknesses of the child with regard to basically literacy abilities. Well, we don't say it's a cure because in the first place, it's not a sickness, no? It's not an illness, no? Or these are conditions. So we had been using the word conditions. It's just something that the child has. No, it can be probably, if it's genetic, then it's something like it's not different from having black hair. Ang ginagawa lang, we are trying to go around of what they are and then help them, no, so that they can probably fit the norm or whatever, no. So yun yung ginagawa namin.
And it's primarily educational in nature. So we use literacy o yung texts, stories. Of course, kapag meron talagang perception difficulties, mga multisensory approaches. Yun. So, and we address the behavior as well.
I go to World Love every Saturday, 1 hour. All the teachers of World Love are very, very patient, especially with dyslexics, because they can't read right, they can spell right.
Well, I was researching on how to help my children better with their dyslexia. I accidentally found out this licensed facilitator in Green Hills. So I brought Audrey there, my daughter, and at that time she was 6 years old. She was a non-reader. She had a difficult time reading even 3-letter words. So I brought her there, and after 2 weeks, Audrey was able to read at her level, and she was able to read on her own. Immediately right after that program, I inquired and I went to the US, hoping that I can bring it here. There'll be more facilitators, and we can help more dyslexic children. But because it's not popular here in the Philippines, and I found out people are not very eager to try out new things, it's quite difficult to promote it actually.
Being a dyslexic here in the Philippines is very difficult. I mean, other than in the States, it's been supported by the government, but here, gagastos ka para malaman mo kung anong problema mo.
It's a reality, especially here in our country, that most parents, no, are not aware of this condition among their children. No, if a child is parang shows symptoms of dyslexia, malamang curse yun para sa kanila because they'll suffer the condition, no, until they become adults. And just imagine a person who can't read, no? And these are realities, especially in rural settings, no? Maraming ganyan.
A lot of people go to my FB page, and my number one advice to them always before we end any thread of messages: be patient with your children. Do not get angry at them. Do not shout at them. And I always tell them, they make the mistakes they make, but they don't know why. They don't even understand why they can't remember, why they can't read, why they can't spell, you know. So getting mad at them will not be very productive. I say that's the number one thing I say because I went through that, And I felt so bad after when I realized that I should have not done it.
So, is it a curse or is it a gift? So, it really depends, no? Kasi, if there's no early intervention, no, na nabigay dun sa bata, then probably it later on can be a gift.
Actually, it's a gift. So, if not a gift, find ways to discover yung strengths ng kid. Because definitely may strengths yun. Pero, part of, yung qualifications ng dyslexia is may average to high IQ. So, they will really compensate for it, no? Probably with the right intervention, not really to overcome, no? But to be equipped with strategies for them to correct or to manage reading and spelling. But definitely not a curse. So, in fact, may mga dyslexics talagang magaling mag-paint, magaling kumanta sa performing arts, no, sa sports.
Dyslexia Pinoy is like an introduction for dyslexics who just been diagnosed with dyslexia. Actually, first, it is my journey from I was diagnosed and then I am in college, and it's like a good bad things because I share my good things there and my bad moments, and it will motivate the dyslexic because if this kid is dyslexic and a Filipino, I can do it too.
And everyone else thinks like, oh, do you know that it's okay if you don't take the test? Like sometimes the new teachers ask me that, oh, your mom allowed you to take the test? I thought the school made exceptions for you. And I'm like, but I can take the test. I don't need to feel like I'm still a baby and I don't need to take a test because I can. That is the highest award my school gives. This one has like virtues, the other one's just all grades. All my life I got that one except for 1 year, and it's leadership award.
To all dyslexics out there, hang on tight because it will be an awesome ride.